Hello, welcome back to Management 422. I forgot to say in my last video that I'm actually broadcasting this from my new office in Reynolds Hall. Not sure if you've all had a chance to come visit the new building, but it's quite incredible. So I'm still actually getting moved into my office space here, and I realized you'll see there's a few photos in the background. All of my photos are of my pets. I literally have no pictures of my children in my office. So stay tuned for my home decor updates throughout the semester. Hopefully it gets a little more interesting behind me than just my one pet over here, I guess, one pet photo and some books. Nonetheless, the reason I created this video for you all is to give you some insight into success strategies, things you can implement from the beginning of the semester that are going to help you to be more successful in this course. Each instructor, each professor is going to have their own style or approach to teaching courses, and that can be complex or frustrating sometimes for students who don't know what to expect. So I'm trying to be transparent for you all. I want you to be as successful as you want to be. And so here I'm going to help you lay a foundation to do so. So I've got 5 tips or strategies that you can use for this semester, for this course that might help you to be successful. So the first thing is that you need to buy the textbook and you need to complete the online modules. And these sound like very basic, nonsensical tips of advice, but it's really true. I think students sometimes try to get through a course without having to buy a textbook, or they think that they can just complete the weekly assignments or weekly quizzes without actually taking the time to go through the module. But that's where all the information is. So if you want to do well in this course, it's really important that you give yourself time each week, that you set aside structured time to go through the course modules. The modules will take you some time to complete because I've built in some activities, but I've also built in some lectures that enable you to kind of hear my voice and hear my explanation of certain concepts that students have traditionally found to be a bit tricky. So I've tried to be very strategic in what information gets presented in text in the module and what information I've actually chosen to lecture on. So give yourself time, mark it down in your schedule so that you know this is time you're dedicating to the course to digest the material. The second step I have, or tip I have for you, is the order of assignments and how you should complete them. So each week you're going to have a quiz that covers the content we've talked about in the module, and you'll have some kind of assignment, whether it's a written assignment or a discussion post, but this is kind of what you can expect every single week. I would recommend that you do the discussion post or you do the written activity first. And usually students try to put these off because they take a little bit more time. But these assignments generally require you to define course concepts, to give examples, to explain your thinking. And by doing these assignments, you can then actually be prepping yourself and studying for the quizzes. My quizzes are 100% completed by me, written by me. I do not use textbook publisher quizzes, and they're challenging. They are really meant to determine who knows the content well and who does not. The timing is short. Again, students aren't going to have time to go through the quizzes, or go through the modules or through the textbooks as they're completing the quizzes. It's really meant to assess, did you learn what you were supposed to? Do you understand the concepts the way you need to? So again, doing the written assignments or discussions first give you the preparation you need to be successful on the quizzes later on. So that would be my suggested ordering. In addition, if material is not covered in the module, then it's not going to be covered on the quiz. So there are times that I've chosen not to include information from the textbook. Either it's kind of tangential or not important, or sometimes there are things I disagree with in the textbook. It does happen. So if it's not in the module, then it's not going to be on the quiz. And that can save you in terms of trying to study for things as well. You don't have to know every single thing. I've really tried to identify what I want you to know. That'll be covered in the weekly module and lecture. The next thing that I wanted to say is that you should pace yourself throughout the week. So I know everybody has multiple roles. I know you're busy and you're doing a lot of things. And so sometimes you might not have, complete freedom or flexibility, but I would really recommend pacing yourself. So maybe you go through the module on one day of the week, and then maybe on another day you spend a little time reviewing and working on your assignment. Or maybe you start working on an assignment and you set it aside, you take a mental break and you come back to it the next day where you can proofread it, reread it, and then submit. I do not recommend waiting until Sunday at 4 p.m. to watch the module, to take your quiz, to complete your assignments. These are not strategies that are going to let you be successful because you're rushed, you're going up against a deadline, and oftentimes you're not going to be able to critically think and apply the material the way you need to. So it's really going to be helpful for you to pace yourself throughout the week and to ensure that you have the time dedicated to actually perform well. The fourth tip or strategy I'll offer you is to read the feedback that I provide. I am going to give you feedback on your assignments. I'll let you know if you miss something and why. I'll give you an explanation on what you did well so that you can keep doing those things going forward throughout the semester. So for instance, if you have an essay you submitted and it's just full of spelling errors, grammatical errors, I'm going to tell you, you lost points this week because I couldn't make heads or tails of what you're trying to say. That's important, right? Or perhaps you didn't cite your sources the way you need to. I'm going to make notes of that. So going back and reading my feedback is going to help you to continue to improve week to week. And so that way, if there are things that you're missing points on, it'll help you to understand why so that you can go back and improve next week. So it's really important that you take time to read that feedback. And if you're not seeing feedback, contact me because that means maybe something's going awry in eCampus because I am giving you feedback on all of your assignments. And finally, ask for help when you need it. This is an online class. I don't get to see your faces, twice a week the way I would in a traditional classroom setting. And so it's hard for me to know if you're struggling. It's hard for me to see, in a typical classroom, I can sometimes see if faces are confused, right? And I need to give another example. I don't have that kind of in-person resource when we're teaching online. So it's important that if you're struggling, if you need help, if you want additional explanations, that you reach out to me. I am here to help support you. I don't want you to feel as though there's a barrier or if you're intimidated or afraid to reach out. It's my job to ensure that you're understanding the content. And so you can reach out anytime and I'll be here to help support and facilitate your learning in any way that I can. I'll also mention that sometimes things come up in life and students get afraid to ask for help. So if something were to occur that you needed more time on an assignment, I want you to reach out and let me know. And there are things that we can do to try to collaborate together to give you some extensions if you need it. Again, I don't want you every single week to be submitting assignments late, but I also don't want some kind of negative event that has happened in your life to really have continued impact on your learning. What I do know is that sometimes students start to not do well and then they get afraid to ask for help and then they continue to do poor and then it's just a spiral where suddenly they're afraid to ask for help because so much time has passed and they think there's nothing they can do. So I want to just nip that in the butt right away. I want you to know I'm here to help you. Do not be afraid to reach out. But you also, you're in control of your learning and you're in control of your life. And so you have to reach out and let me know that you need additional support. And I'm here to help you. So these are some foundations you can lay for the semester that will help you to do your very best to be successful. And of course, if there's something I haven't listed here, if you run into challenges along the way, let me know and we will troubleshoot them together. But I'm wishing you all the best. I believe in you. I know that the new semester is just full of opportunity and excitement. And so I want you to use some of these strategies in advance that can help you be successful all semester long. So take care, be well. We'll talk soon.